But then came that afternoon. It was 3 days before the festival of the spirits. A group of boys, 6 of them, all round Chijioke's age, were gathered at the village square, pounding out rhythms on the hallowed logs and cooking pots, practicing for the children's drumming contest. The winner could get to perform before the king of the community. Hello guys, welcome to Moonlight Tales by Uju. Please subscribe to UJ Moonlight Tales channel, like and share for more interesting tales. Thank you. The air smelled of roasted maize and wood smoke. The birds were settling for the night. Okono, the old wise man, with skin like folded leather and eyes that had seen too many moons, stepped out of his hut slowly, leaning on his crooked walking stick. He had a small cowrie bag hung from his waist, filled with kola nuts and old memories. Papa Okono, tell us a story, the children all shouted, rushing towards him with bright eyes and dusty feet. He smiled with a quiet voice full of thunder and calm. He said, "Ndị nkem, come and sit." Then the children gathered, wide-eyed, forming a circle around him under the Iroko tree. Okono continued, "Here, truth and tale are twins. What I will tell you now is more than a story. It is the bone of our people." The title of my tale is Chijioke the Dumb Boy and the Talking Drum. I'd never thought I'd see magic with my own eyes. Not a movie magic, but real experience. It happened in a neighboring village called Umuoko, deep in the heart of eastern Nigeria, West Africa, many years ago. It all started with the delivery of a boy named Chijioke. The great native doctor Ogene, who attended the delivery, looked into the flames and said, "Nwa a bụ onyinye site n'aka ndị ichie," meaning this child is a gift from the ancestors, but he will not speak the way others do. He was born different, beautiful eyes, bright smile, but silent. He was dumb. From the moment he came into this world, not a single cry came from his lips. The midwife said to his mother, "This child is mute." Some people do not believe the great Ogene, the native doctor. They said that the baby was a curse. Others said it was a sign from the gods. The villagers feared he could not take after his father. But here is the strange part. Chijioke's father, Obiadili, the greatest drummer the village had ever known, he was the most respected ritual drummer in the entire region. His Udu and Ikoro could summon rain, chase away evil spirits, and open the spiritual realm during Igwe's ceremonies. His hands could call the rain or calm a crying baby. People travel from other villages just to hear him drum. The king himself once said Obiadili's drum could wake the ancestors. So imagine the shame the villagers thought he could carry when his only son could not speak. So when Chijioke was born mute, the villagers whispered, "How can a drummer have a son who cannot speak? What good is a drummer's blood if the boy cannot even speak a word?" But Obiadili and his lovely wife, Makwochukwu, loved their son Chijioke very well. They took care of him and made sure he lacked nothing. The villagers did not see what his family, that's Chijioke's family, do see. They did not know that whenever Obiadili played his drum, little Chijioke could stop whatever he was doing and just listen. Like the drum was telling him a story. His head could lean, his eyes could close, and sometimes he could sit beside his father during evening practice, listening, his eyes closed, but his face still. Sometimes, without instruction, he could replicate the exact beat using his small ekwe, and Obiadili could pause, watching him with awe. He tapped the same rhythm back perfectly without being taught. Still, his peers laughed at him. The children called him Obanje. Kids avoided him. The elders shook their heads. Adults pitied Chijioke, a dumb child who cannot talk, waste of talent. But then came that afternoon. It was 3 days before the festival of the spirits. A group of boys, 6 of them, all round Chijioke's age, were gathered at the village square, pounding out rhythms on the hallowed logs and cooking pots, practicing children's drumming contest. The winner could get to perform the king of the community. Chijioke stood nearby, just watching, holding a small calabash drum under his arm. He did not join them. He never did. One of the boys, Ekenna, sneered and shouted, "Hey, mute boy, you think you can drum like your father with no voice? Why not just clap for us in silence, eh?" Another boy picked up a stone and threw it near Chijioke's foot. "If you can't talk, at least run like a goat." Chijioke did not back away. He simply stepped forward. The laughter stopped. He sat cross-legged, placed the calabash drum between his knees, and closed his eyes. Then he began to play. At first it was soft, so soft you could hear the wind shift through the trees. But then something strange happened. The rhythm built complex, sharp, clean. It told a story of thunder, of running hooves, of weeping mothers, of battle, of joy. He wasn't just drumming, he was speaking through the drum. People of the village began to gather and they all watched him play. The boys stared and stunned. The crowd that had gathered went silent, and then the drum responded. No one touched it, but the logs the boys had been playing began to vibrate on their own. A deep hum filled the air, like something ancient had awoken. Ekenna dropped his drum and stepped back. "What? What is that?" he gasped. The village elders, who had been watching from the shade of a tree, rose to their feet. Their walking stick trembled. "This is not just a practice," the elders whispered. "That is a gift." When Chijioke opened his eyes, the boys could not meet his gaze. They did not laugh anymore. They just walked away, their pride crushed and their faces pale. Then came the night of the spirits. Every year, the entire village gathered to honor the ancestors. It was a sacred night. The king's sacred drum, called Udamba, was played to open spiritual gate between the living and the dead. Only Obiadili was allowed to play it. He was the royal drummer. He is the only one allowed to entertain the king in the palace. So on the sacred night, the entire village gathered to celebrate their ancestors. As usual, Obiadili arranged the drum. He struck it. Nothing. He tried again. Still nothing. Not a single beat was heard. Panic swept through the village. People cried. The king grew angry. "Why won't it speak?" he shouted. No one had an answer. Then Chijioke stepped forward. I will never forget that moment. He did not walk with fear. He did not look at anyone. He just moved, calm and steady, like he was being guided. Then the crowd parted and confused. Some even tried to pull him back, but he ignored everyone. Obiadili was surprised at his son, but he kept staring at him. The villagers began to murmur. Some even voiced out that he is mute. He cannot even talk. What can he do? But the king raised his hand. Let him try, the king said. There was absolute silence in the palace. Chijioke, which means God holds my portion. And that night, the gods proved it true. And Chijioke knelt in front of the sacred drum. He didn't hit it. He touched it, just laid his palms flat on the skin of the drum, and then the air changed. The sky did not darken, but it felt darkened. It felt darker, like the wind was holding its breath. And then we heard it, not just the beats, not just the music, but the voices, ancient voices from the drum through Chijioke. The ancestors were speaking, and Chijioke was their vessel. They spoke in riddles, in warnings, in truth. They revealed secrets, the stolen farmland, the hidden betrayal in the palace, in the truth about a sickness in the village. Some people dropped to their knees, others fled. Others fled, but one thing was clear. Chijioke was the chosen one, the chosen vessel of the ancestors. The king wept, Obiadili wept, and the villagers, those same ones who mocked him, could not even raise their heads. That night, Chijioke was named the royal drummer and spirit messenger. The mute boy no one believed in became the only one ancestors trusted. Another surprise that same night, he hugged his father and opened his mouth to speak. Nnam, I will make you proud. The king also hugged him, and he lifted his hand up and declared him the palace drummer, like his father. Since then, the sacred drum had never gone silent again, but only Chijioke can make it speak. And me, I still visit Umuoko community, and every time I hear the drum echo across the hills, I remember that night when silence became the loudest voice in the village. True talent does not always come in the way people expect. Sometimes the most powerful voices are the ones no one or anybody listens to until destiny speaks through them. Okono paused and smiled. My children, I must retire to bed and stretch my bones, he said. Then, pointing at the children, he added, have a wonderful night rest. The children then made their ways to their parents' huts. Dear esteemed viewers, this is the end of my tale. The key moral lessons here are: 1. Do not judge by appearance or limitations. Chijioke was dumb, but his gift was deeper than speech. His strength was hidden from those who only looked on the surface. 2. Everyone has a purpose. Even when the village thought he was useless, Chijioke's destiny was tied to something greater, being a bridge between the living and the ancestors. 3. He cannot stop destiny. His peers mocked him, but their words could not stop what was meant for him. In the end, they witnessed his greatness. 4. Respect spiritual gifts. Igbo culture teaches that gifts from the spirits may come in unusual forms. Chijioke's ability to hear the drum was a sacred calling. Finally, silence does not mean weakness. The most quiet people may carry the deepest wisdom and the loudest truth. Please remember to hit the notification bell for more interesting tales. Always share and like my stories. Your opinions are welcome on the comment section. Thanks for watching. See you again on my next tale. Bye for now.